Right folks, we move on to another impressive stand at the LAMMA Show 2025, which belongs to the Krone guys. And one of those guys is Mr. Ben Davis from the manufacturer. He's going to take us on a bit of a whistle-stop tour.
Correct, yeah.
Of the stand and look at some of the key products that you're showing off and a few bits like that. So Ben, where do you want to start in mower world? Since we're surrounded by mowers here, what we got going on?
So we've got the full range of mowers, starting from our active mow range, front mowers. We've got the push ECF 320 CV mower, which is a push. We do offer a pull version available in that, in front of us here. So main key feature on that is our drive goes from the rear, so all of the bed has a complete safe cut system on it, so every disc.
Right, so you're not going into a top hat on this side?
Correct, we just complete bed has our safe cut system.
On every single one?
So if you hit impact any disc, basically.
And often it will be a corner one that'll do it.
Usually when you're doing the headland either.
It'll find something, won't it?
Yep, correct. So that's that.
We've got the. So that's your push type, and like I say, you've got your pull.
We've got a pull type
like
as well. Correct. So we've got our best-selling rear-mounted mower.
I was going to say, there's a few of these about, isn't there?
Yeah. So this is our best-seller. Big chunk of our mower sales on the ECR 320 CV.
Right. 3.2 that one, is it?
Yes, 3.2. Main change on this, or the main feature we've added onto this, is a hydraulic swath board.
Ooh.
So a small hydraulic ram there. So as you're going around the headland, moves into the side, puts the swath across by up to 1.3 metres.
Really?
So if you're doing the headland, then effectively it'll bring the crop in to prevent you, from pushing the grass onto off of the tedder, pushing the grass into the hedge.
You can have it right over this side by the time it's thrown it out.
It is, and it's quite useful on a steep bank as well. So if the grass is actually dropping down, so you're not driving onto the crop that you've just cut.
Keep tedder man happy.
Yeah. So
out the edge.
So this is our new EC Cut B 880 CV.
This one?
Relatively new there. Well, the operator interface is new.
Right.
So what you'll see here is the new 880 CV mowers.
These are conditioner, these aren't they?
Conditioner, yeah. So 880 CV conditioner. What you've got there is the new operator interface. So we've got what we call a pre-select digital. So effectively, if a tractor's got isobus, then you can just basically select which of the mowers that you want to go up, and then you pull the spool valve on the tractor. Yeah. So this mower, basically, when you're selling it to the customer, you can choose which operator interface you sell it with.
This one or the simple
or this one
there.
On the same mower. So the dealer can order one mower, and then obviously depending on what the customer the tractor the customer has, they can say, well, if you've got mechanical remotes and no isobus, I'll sell it with this. If you've got a tractor with isobus, but you don't want the full isobus system, then you effectively go with the isobus pre-select.
Or you could go full isobus and plug it into the tractor.
On the 1050 CVs we have the full isobus on the model, so the wider mowers. The other big thing on this is we use Power Beyond for doing our hydraulic bed pressure. So the bed pressure is actually adjustable in the cab whilst you're mowing on this. And then the other big change is the swath curtains as well. So rather than a tin cover, we've gone to the swath curtain.
Oh, you just put a curtain
all the way across, So basically, if a dealer trades it in, after two or three, exactly, and then you will see that the mower looks much more improved.
Right. Is that easier for servicing and maintenance as well?
Yeah, and it reduces the weight as well.
Of course, because it's a big unit, really.
Yeah. So that's the CV model. We do offer a version with groupers on it as well. Collects. So ECB, 880 CV collect. Belt groupers as well. Yeah.
You do auger groupers on your...
We do. We offer a set dedicated mower, which is an ECB 950. A butterfly mower with an auger. But we also offer a big swath system on the 1050 mowers. Right. So you can actually have an auger on the back to offer as a grouper, and then it's similar design to that of the Big M.
Of course, yeah.
So. Big key feature on the tedders.
Oh, we're going tedder world now.
Tedder world now.
So we've dropped it.
So
spread it out.
Cut it. Now we're going to spread it out.
Right.
So the big new news that we've got here is the first time it's been publicly seen in UK is the Vendro C1340. Right. So that's a replacement to the KWT 1300. Yeah. And basically it brings into the KW range, trailed range, all the enhancements that we did for the Vendro, the main one being the position of the wheel in relation to the rotor, so it brings it closer to the tine.
So you get better
following, better ground contouring.
Right. And this is what, 13 metres?
13.4 metres this is.
Right, hence the 13.40.
So this particular one has the two optional extras that are available on this model, one being the hydraulic height adjustment. So you effectively change the pitch of the rear.
So that
on that cam.
mounter's pitch, that one there.
That ram there, and then obviously the tines go up and down. Closer to the ground. So if you're in a field that's quite rough, say there's a bit ruts from when they've been spreading slurry, etc., you can adjust it on the go. And then the other element on that is the hydraulic headland curtain. So you basically fold that curtain down when you go around the headland, and it prevents the grass being kicked out onto the hedge stroke uncut grass.
You're just making it too easy for us now, aren't you?
So the other thing that this has added to it is a new 2-point hitch system.
Right.
So instead of a 3-point hitch system, you basically just got your 2 lower links on the tractor, and then there's a spring that goes from the top here down to the top link pin on the tractor, just so that when you get a negative load when turning on the headland, it's like a shock absorber to try to stop it from trying to rear up.
Got you. Right, so it just keeps a bit of nose weight on it, sort of thing.
So that's the real big change, you know, in our tedder section. Obviously, it's got all of the Octolink drives all the way through the bed. And then a gearbox mounted on the underside of the chassis. So, you know, we've got a drive shaft and then an individual drive into each. We don't drive through the gearbox.
Of course, right, you're not like this basically here.
Exactly,
That's not
exactly.
Up there. You're not driving through it.
You're not driving through it, you're actually chassis mounted. The gearbox is actually mounted on the chassis. So cam wheel and pinion. So it gives you a lot more increased durability.
And is this the widest teddy you do now, this one?
No, we've still got the KWT 1600 and the 2000 available as well. So yeah.
Will they be going the way of this? Turning into C-Series?
It's the natural evolution to move to the Vendro range. We launched the Vendro C1120 last year. We've moved now to the Vendro C1340. So the expectation from my side is that we will go going forward. So,
you tell them, Ben.
Yeah. So,
come here, Bernard. Right, where are we heading to?
So we're now going to the rake section. So you've cut it, you've tedded it.
Yeah.
We're now
got a couple of examples of mounted ones on there.
Yeah.
As well,
So we've got 2 mounted ones on there. This one's got the optional hydraulic headland mode. So the small ram there effectively does that, and then the tedder will move offset to the rear of the tractor, so it kicks it into the field. Yeah.
Right, spot on.
Okay. So when we move on to our
we
move on to our Swadro range. We've effectively got our full rake on the options of a single rotor rake. So we've got our Swadro 420 here.
Yeah.
We've got a TC 640.
You do many of those in the UK, these
yeah. A lot of it's going for swath movement in straw. A lot of people move straw swaths. You know, especially on a wet harvest. It's probably the kind of thing that you end up with. We sell quite a few at the back end of the season.
I'm going to say that'll come into its own in the last 2 seasons.
What we've got here is a Swadro TC 640 with hydraulic width adjustment on this. Right.
So what will that vary from and to?
It goes out to 6.4 metres fully out. And I think it's something like 4.8. I think fully in, to be honest.
Right.
So you'll have to double check on that. And then the steering is standard on this model. Okay.
Cool. So that's your twin roll too.
And then we move on to our TC 1250. Main change on this is the new operator interface. We've got the same concept as what we had on the mowers, the butterfly mowers that we saw. You've got a digital pre-select or a DS50, so our new kind of DS50 we call it. Membrane switch panel.
So you can literally just go for either or.
Correct. Same machine, core machine, you effectively select depending on customer tractor, mechanical remotes. The main change on this is we've actually got individual rotor lift and lower on this model now as well, so you can effectively dump the spool and then you select what to do. Same with constant pumping, you put it on and it'll then individual rotor lift, and then you've also got the ability to have timed lift as well. It'll automatically lift rears after a certain period of time compared to the fronts.
Will this work with Power Beyond as well, this machine?
No, you don't need it because you've effectively only need the 2 spools.
To send and return?
To send and return, Well, you've got 1 single acting and 1 double acting for folding and then obviously raising up on the headland, etc., up to a predetermined height. And then that's it, really. So it's a very, very simple rake, 12.5 metre operating width. This one is the Plus model, which has the electric rotor height adjustment as well on all 4 rotors, and they can be all done individually on the touchscreen here. So you effectively change that on there. So select your rotor, then you can effectively change the rotor height.
Dial it up, yeah.
So if you effectively, because they're highlighted, it's hinging all of them, so you can do individual or
Or
you can do all
lot,
four.
depending on which one you highlight.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Got you.
So, good.
Cool. And is there any mechanical changes on this, or is it mainly down to?
Mainly down to the operator
control,
interface,
right.
yeah, the CC1250. I mean, the big plus point for this is this individual rotor lift.
Yeah.
Where, you know, I mean,
especially in our field.
especially in a lot of parts of the field, in a lot of parts of the country where silage is made, unfortunately they're not square handkerchief fields, they're all shapes and sizes.
That's
so,
it.
You know,
That'll be a popular one, the 1250, is it?
yeah, it is a popular size, you know, and that's really kind of the main segment that grew last year. The 4-rotor rake segment in terms of rakes was one that grew in the last 12 months. A lot of that's being driven by contractor business and larger dairy farm units wanting to take a bit more control of the crop cutting, tedding and raking prior to the foragers, so they're in control to try and achieve that wonderful 24-hour from cutting to pitting. So,
After?
so we move on to big balers.
We're on to big packs here.
Yeah, so we've got our focus this year is on the 1290, large market in the UK of balers is 1290 size bales. What we've got is our Gen 4 or Gen 5 on the right hand side here with all of the service panels, so that's kind of highlighting the serviceability and operator comfort features that we've got on our big square baler.
We've done a couple of testimonials.
I think you'll find on the back there's a TV running, and you'll you'll see in loop, you'll see LandPowerTV on the odd occasion. So, and that's highlighting the serviceability. You know, the fact that the panels fold down.
It's just completely
you know,
open,
to allow for stringing, to allow for serviceability. So, so this is in the brake band or restringing position. So effectively opens up like that to allow you to get on at ground level. And service lights as well. So if you're doing it in the evening, you've still got full visibility.
Right. And they just come on automatically, huh?
The light, the lights, yeah. So and then if we go around to the other side, you see service lights inside there, so you can get access. So this model has the so the service panel is up. So this is the service mode. That's string mode, if you like, on the right hand side. Main element on this is obviously the electronic VFS trip. So it gives more operator comfort whilst driving to make sure that you get the maximum amount of baler.
So you don't necessarily have to trip on every stroke.
Exactly, you're actually tripping when it's actually
when that pre-chamber's
full. And then we've got a load monitor as well on the drive shaft to that VFS, which is that torque sensor there. That effectively tells the operator that you're actually getting to the point of overload, or there's a lot more potential still to come if you want to speed up.
It either eggs you on or backs you on.
Correct. The other thing to highlight on this is the V-knotters. So from the V-knotters, the twin knots without any twine tails are on this now. And then we also have power clean on there, which is effectively forced air into the knotter bank. And then the outlets from that are also down the side, so it actually keeps the side of the baler.
So it blows this down
blows
as it's keeping the knotters clean as well.
Correct. So they're completely, clean. So if you're actually starting service, they're not designed as the itchy, scratchy things anymore. So
certainly not as bad as it used to be.
So. And then if we move over to the other 1290 that we've got on the show here, that's the 1290 HDP2. So that is our ultra high density baler, if you like.
Right.
So that also has V-knotters on and power clean. So
that's that one.
So that's our Gen 4 effectively the ultra high density baler.
Right.
And then that's the HDP2 there.
Right.
Has the V-knotters. So we've got a very dense bale here.
Very dense bale.
So, so not too sure I'd want to put it through my straw chopper.
No, that's it sounds a bit hollow.
But and then we've got our V-knots here. So you have two different style knots at either end of the bale, and then that basically allows us to eliminate the small twine tails going forwards. We also have on this, just to show here, the concept of the bale tagger. So effectively, we'll show you in a moment, behind us is a static model, but on the knotter bank, there's what we call bale tagger.
Right.
So as the knotters trip, it effectively applies a tag to one of the strings. That string then has a QR code on it, and that's linked to the telematic data for this specific bale. So depending on what the baler's actually equipped with, such as moisture, weight, then it will give you that additional information, but it will give you GPS position,
location
and time,
as well.
GPS location and everything. And then it has a QR code on there so that you could move this once. So basically, once you move the bale, all of that data would normally historically be lost. Going forwards, because you've got that, it goes with it. So 6 months down the line, I can tell you where this bale has actually come from.
Right, so full transparency.
Full transparency
for traceability. So who wants this amount of information then? Who's after that?
It's coming from, like the organic business, let's say. So if people are buying in an organic farm who need traceability of where bought-in crops have come from, then effectively they can scan that QR code, and then they've got traceability of the GPS position of where that bale was made, and that then ties up with organic farm producing those bales as information. It's also for the likes of if you're selling straw and buying straw, you can say where it's come from and what moisture it was actually done. So somebody buying a load of straw can actually see what those bales were actually moisture were baled at.
There you go. I suppose you could split some of them up as well. Let's put these nice dry ones over here.
Obviously the telematics, we've always been able to do moisture, but as soon as you've moved that bale, it's lost.
That data's gone.
So that data's gone.
Right,
so
and this takes it with it.
So basically, this is the tagger here. So what you'll see is there's a cartridge of tags in the centre there. So as the bale is produced and the knotters trip, that tag actually is applied onto the string, and the concept is, if you remember, if you're a similar vintage to me, you'll remember the plastic tab that you used to have on the top of a loaf of bread, where you kind of put it on.
Oh yeah.
Same principle.
Yeah,
exactly the same
machine.
principle. Yeah, exactly the same principle as that.
Right.
So that just basically applies with compressed air, forces the little actuator down, and that then pushes it onto the string, and the bale's gone. And that information is then linked in telematics for the bale tag code versus the telematic information of the baler.
There you go.
We've also got an enhancement to our smart telematics system.
We talked about this. Was it last time we talked
so
about
we've got
this?
Smart Telematics Plus. So the big key customer benefit of that is now the ability to export data as ISO XML or shape files, so that you can put it with a USB stick that would save it and then put it into your farm management software.
Right.
We do obviously offer telematics through the AgriRouter portal as well, but it's for those farmers that are not necessarily getting that level of, or wanting that level of complexity.
This is just another way
they can basically extracting that data and putting it into the machine.
Good stuff. Right, where are you taking us now, Ben?
Round balers next.
Round balers.
So we've got our Comprima CV150 XC Plus.
So this
here.
is variable chamber.
So this is a variable. So from 900 mil bale up to 1.5 meters. So you're getting full compression, if you like, of the bale.
Yeah. From
900 millimeters up to 1.5 millimeters. And we now offer film-on-film technology with this as well. So we're seeing more customer demand for film-on-film technology, especially in the dairy industry when they're using it as a buffer stock. They're kind of wanting to put it directly into the diet feeder, and they get a grapple that'll
just pull the whole lot off.
Put the net wrap and the film wrap all in one.
And just one type of plastic waste to deal with.
Exactly, one type of plastic waste to deal with, and you can use less wrap because in theory you're getting more coverage depending on how many already getting it from this chamber. And you always end up with a huge amount on the ends, so now really once the ends are covered to the same level as the sides, you're okay. So that's the big change on that.
That's that one.
We've got our VariPack model here, so variable chamber baler here, belt baler. So that's
the Comprima, that'll be slat and...
Yeah, that's the slats. Slat model, exactly. Whereas this is a belt baler. So you tend to find that this is more, let's say east side of the country, for more straw, hay, etc. Whereas the Comprima baler would be probably more west coast of the country, So you do see a bigger split, in where we sell certain models.
Yeah, but they will do both.
They will do both. Yeah, for sure. And we're seeing some people actually using a baler now and putting film wrap on hay, so you can have it in the field for longer.
Just on the barrel.
Just on the barrel, and not wrapping the entire bale. You just actually, So
basically, where your net would be.
Yeah, I mean the wrapper market, the combi wrapper market accounts now for a good percentage of the overall UK market.
Yeah.
So,
right, any changes to VariPack, or where are we at with this?
Not really. I mean, it's obviously it's been on the market.
It's still fairly new yet.
It's still fairly new. It's been on the market. I mean, very, very good high density round baler.
Yeah.
Serviceability is excellent on it. You've got the mechanical release of the rotor. So if you block it, you can release the auger. You can put the net wrap to go, dump the bale, and then put the rotor back in, and then take the lump in.
So there you go.
Yeah. So away you go. So.
Right. So that's that.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go next?
If we go on to foragers.
Foragers next.
Yeah. So what we've got on foragers is we're highlighting on the big X. So we've got the big X1180 here. So our big
daddy,
the big baby. Yeah. So we'll go around the back, make it work our way around. So so what we're highlighting on this, you know, is the key messages like power plus efficiency.
Right.
Gives you overall productivity.
Yeah.
So you know, it's not all about power.
Although you've got a lot of it,
we've got
but it's what you do with it.
It's what you do with it as well. You know, you can have a 1500 horsepower in here, and if you're not transmitting that power efficiently, then you know you're wasting your time and fuel.
So what's making you stand out? What's your USPs then?
So I mean, we've got obviously the simple belt drive.
Yeah. So you got your engine side to side.
The side to side. So we've effectively got the belt running straight down to the drum. So we're not having any kind of transmission parasitic losses, you know, on the forage harvester. So if you start the header, you know, on our headers we've kind of got inbuilt efficiency, so such as the camless pickup. So effectively you're not, you know, losing power on that cam track. When you then start going into the forager, we've got our 6 feed rolls that kind of...
So let's get to the front, or try and get to the front, it's quite busy around here. So here we go.
So
feed rolls.
Six feed rolls that kind of, they're going to feed and compress the crop, so a uniform mat going into the drum.
Yeah.
Our max flow drum has a huge transition area, so once it's gone into the drum, the scoop, if you like, of the knives and the design has a huge pocket to carry that crop.
You've got a lot of capacity.
You've got a lot of capacity behind each knife to actually carry it. You know, we're not dragging it around with a huge compression on the actual drum bottom. Yeah. The drum bottom,
that's it. You kind of, like I say, you're carrying it round.
We're carrying it round.
You're not scraping it round.
Correct. Right, so we've got a lot of room in there for transition of crop. We've also got our vary stream on the underside of the drum. So we've got a sprung-loaded drum bottom. So if you do get a big lump going in, you're not sending a big peak load back to the engine. You're effectively allowing that just to open up to allow that lump. So that gives you a very, very good transition of crop up to there. We've then got our, depending on the configuration or what you're doing, we've got our grass chute in there, but we've also got our Optimax crop processor there that folds back. You can move in and out on a chain system.
Yeah.
So we've got a standalone unit over there, but the Optimax 305 model that we've got there is the larger diameter of the 2 crop processors that we offer. So that gives you huge crop flow through. It's not a resisting factor, the 305. So if you compare the 305 even to our 250, we're seeing a huge reduction in tons per hour, increase in tons per hour, and a reduction in fuel consumption in terms of litres per tonne.
Just by going to
that. And then also increases our CSPS score, which is, when you're in maize, CSPS score is the way in which the kernels are smashed up, down to a point of, if you have a very good CSPS score, then the digestibility of that silage is greater, and that in turn leads to better yields from cows. So you know that
so it all adds up what you're doing.
It all adds up in there, but the fact that we have the bigger crop processor gets more crop throughput through it, because you've got a bigger peripheral surface circumference of the.
So it's all about just literally starting at the head. It's all about those transitions, keeping everyone as smooth and as free flowing as possible.
Correct, and that's where
all the way through.
So basically, we've got the large blower where we've got the stream control, where we can effectively change the position of which the crop enters the blower. So if you've got a huge, a lightish crop and you want more blow, then you can effectively move it. So that moves the position of which the crop enters the accelerator or the blower, if you like.
Right. So that's pre-blower. That's before the blower.
Yeah, so it basically pre-blower. You're altering the position of which it actually enters.
Right.
And then obviously after that, it's gone. So if you've got a big heavy crop, you don't want to be putting it into the centre of the blower or the
and do you have adjustable plate at the back of the blower as well?
Yes, so it's got a bit of spring. So and then you've got like a small ram on there that moves it in and out to move that position as well.
Right.
And then obviously alongside that, we've got serviceability.
Yeah.
I mean, we've removed the steps for the show. There's 2 bolts basically. There's 1 bolt to retain, or 2 bolts to retain it, and 1 pivot hinge bolt there.
And that swings out the way.
15 minutes we were in that position there now pretty much, and then obviously the wheel off just to allow access for the show here.
But it's like once you do that, it's very open.
Yeah, from a serviceability point of view. And then the other element is obviously the NIR sensor that we've got fitted to this machine.
Yeah.
So that's like full nutrient, analysis on the go. So we've got a full, like digital suite.
Yeah, is that getting more popular now? People
it is.
To know more information. The foraging.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people are trying to do so they can make fact-based decisions on future purchases of feed, etc. for the winter. So if you know now what's going into the clam, then you can make that decision and say, oh, I need X kilograms or X tons of feed going forward for the winter.
Yeah.
So, and then last but not least, we've got our
I've been
RX.
here before, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Which you can tell me about this one. You know,
so I'll let you do it.
So we've effectively got our new RX forage wagon. This is the RX 370 with the OptiGrass 28. So this has got the 28mm cut rotor.
That's it, yeah.
With knife bank. So big thing on this is obviously the hydraulic pickup reel. So hydraulically driven, proportional to tractor forward speed.
Yeah.
So, and the good feature on that as well is we've got a boost function. So if you come to a lump, obviously proportional pickup reel, proportional to speed. If I stop, pickup reel is going to stop. So if you come to a lump, you can push a boost function, which will make that pickup reel go to full speed. Then you can inch into the lump,
and just sort of
then you tickle it in, and then you go let go of the button, and it goes back to the normal proportional speed. That is
just go for it.
Yeah. Well, there is that.
It'll do it. I've seen it.
Basically, bed pressure is adjustable from the cab, so the pickup reel pressure. So if you're in some fields again that are rough after winter, last winters we've had.
A distinct possibility.
So then you can basically reduce the amount of pressure that's actually on the.
Just take the weight off the pickup a little bit.
Exactly.
Make it float a little bit more,
exactly. So this is the 37. We offer it in a 33 cube, 37 cube, and a 40 cube. The RX. A lot of that technology's come from the ZX range. It's been evolved.
That's it.
It's
evolved
started
from at the top, didn't it? It's filtering down.
Correct.
Will some of this get down to MX as well?
That's what we'd like to do. Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, it takes time to obviously do a whole development process. So we're going for the market that's probably the biggest at the moment, and then we'll move down. So
That's it. And these going well for you?
Very well.
I certainly know a fella who's got two of them anyway.
Yes. So,
possibly his brother-in-law's bought one as well.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So we've had some good success in this market this year. So then that's.
And she's still relatively new, this one.
Yeah, very much so.
The OptiGrass.
Yeah. Last year was the first kind of commercially available units, and then obviously it's.
And are you seeing that demand now for the short?
Yeah, the 28 mil. Yeah, and then obviously with our rotor concept, we've got this integral auger on the side.
That's right, bringing it in.
It basically feeds the side
almost, doesn't it?
Recycles the side, so you end up with grass going back in, so you never get any uncut grasses going out the side.
The outside,
historically, that's what happened. Basically the sides of the forage wagon were uncut. Let's call it. Yeah.
And with this sort of folding the shoulders in a bit, you get your solid shoulders.
Yeah.
Like a nail, isn't it?
Exactly.
You want your solid shoulders going right the way up this box.
Correct. If we move on to the side, you'll see there's a power band for the drive.
Let's see if we can get there. It's quite popular, isn't it, really?
So.
Get there eventually. There we go. Just sneaking in.
So you can see the power band there, and our speed sharp system here. So.
And what's the sort of reasons behind the power band? Benefits, I should say.
It's a very, very good transition of power from you basically come into one gearbox, and then you have a lot less power reduction, power loss going through that, and then there's an epicyclic unit inside the actual auger that actually reduces the speed down.
Right,
the auger
takes it down again.
Takes it down again. Yeah. And those pulleys are interchangeable, so if you've got a smaller tractor, you can actually reduce the ratio of that as well. And then on the 28 mil, the speed sharp does 3 knives. On the 37 mil, it does 2 knives because of the configuration of the system.
So each sort of disc is looking after 3 knives.
In this instance,
It does its job. Onto the next one.
Correct. And that's standard in the UK.
Right. What speed sharp standard is it?
Yeah, in the UK.
Yeah. Spot on.
So.
There you go. What you got left?
Hydraulic sprung axle on this.
Yeah.
So she's got the hydraulic axle. There is a spring option available, but the kind of the popular one at the moment seems to be more the hydraulic.
Heading that way now, is it?
Yeah. Right. Correct. And then last but not least, we've got a competition here with our HD liner. So that's the drum bottom.
Right.
So that's done 3 seasons in the field.
Yeah.
So it's done 3 seasons on the big X1180 component.
Yeah.
And you can actually win a Krone branded Ridgeline jacket if you guess to the nearest kilogram in terms of fresh matter have been across that drum in that period of time.
So it's done 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Grass, whole crop,
and maize.
And maize.
Yeah.
Leave it with me. I'm going to have to get my calculator out, but leave it with me.
That's
I will
fine.
get a rough answer to you.
There's a few numbers. Well, you're more than welcome. There's an iPad behind you there. What you do is you put how many kilos you think you're going to cross it.
How long is this competition running for? Is it just at LAMMA?
Just at LAMMA.
It's just at LAMMA, right.
Yeah.
So when you're watching this, you can't enter anyway. So there you
fine.
go. But I'm going to have a go.
But it's just, it's to highlight the kind of the.
Yeah, there's loads of life left.
Loads of life left in it, yeah, with a hard coating, so it doesn't look really that much different to when it went out in the field from the beginning. So.
That's it.
So that's really a very quick whistle-stop tour of the
the
Krone stand.
Lots going on. I'd imagine there's lots in the pipeline as well.
Yeah, there's always things going on. I mean, it's all part of continuous product development, so you've got to keep continuing developing.
We're in an agri-technica year, aren't we? Now
Correct,
2025, so that'll be coming up in November. No doubt you'll have something, won't you?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of things on the horizon, so we'll just have to wait and see and head over to Agri-Technica in Hanover in November.
Yeah. It'll soon be here.
Yeah, very much so, very much so.
There you go.
Good.
Spot on. Thank you very much, Ben.
No problem.
Pleasure as always.